Hello, Internet. Hi, Charlene. Hi, Soltanik. Hi, Campaign Terrain. How's everyone doing? Our guest today is Gomez from Gaming Treasure Chest. Sorry, I swear I can words.
It's all good. It's all good.
How are you doing, man?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Like, great to be here. Like, good to talk to people. So yeah.
Okay, you're a game master, you're a designer of things, and you sell D&D adjacent accessories on Etsy. Would you like to just
Yeah.
give us a brief introduction to yourself before we start going into all these avenues?
Yep. So I mean, like, I call myself Nathaniel Gomesian in terms of on gaming treasure chest as your humble shopkeep, because I always thought that Nathaniel Gomesian sounded more like a fantasy. What do you call it? Fantasy than Gomez and such
It
like
does.
that. So
It does.
yes. Um, yeah, just make YouTube videos on D&D and yeah, sell D&D related stuff. That's basically it. That's the only sum up of the gist of what I do is. So, yeah.
Okay, so what came first, the channel or the doodads?
Well, the funny thing is, the actual channel has been running for over 10 years now. So, like,
Oh, okay,
admittedly, it
nice.
started as so it was no, it was originally called Lan Up, and that was because it was originally me and a couple of friends were doing like gaming videos together because also LAN parties kind
Actually,
of.
I think I remember the time you joined Dungeon Gem. That was still the tagline on your
Yeah,
Discord, I think.
it
Yeah, okay.
was LAN Up. So yeah, so it started off as LAN Up with a couple of friends, and then different things happened which tore them away. I kept it going for a long time, mostly going into card games. So I was playing like a Hearthstone and Legends of Runeterra when Legends of Runeterra was a card game which actually was like a versus people, because I think that's now like it's the Riot card game that was based off of League of Legends.
hmm
Um, and they ended up going down a different route than PvP. It ended up being like PvE, like basically you versus the computer kind of thing. So that basically like killed the game for me, because I always like playing card games against people. That's like the whole fun. Like it allows me to live out the Yu-Gi-Oh fantasy of like your move, like a kind of thing. So that's the reason why like I always like playing card games. And then yeah, I got into creating things like 3D printing. There's a funny story behind that, but we'll get more into that later if you want
Okay,
to.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, 3D printing. Started designing stuff, and then I was like, oh, what do I love? Like a as well as like this is Dungeons and Dragons. So started designing Dungeons and Dragons themed things. Like you got like one of my first creations was the loot. So this is like
Okay.
a loot kind of thing which comes out, and there's like a dice that you can put inside there, stuff like that. So that was one of the first things that I made. And yeah, started designing more things, and then decided, oh, I need to get people to know this is a thing, because like I need to like market myself kind of
That
thing. And I
helps,
was
yeah.
like, oh, and I was like, oh, sorry, I'll start making YouTube videos on Dungeons and Dragons, like as I love the topic, so why not? And then yeah, and that's so it was kind of created the stuff and then started making videos on Dungeons and Dragons. This is the way they went around. So yeah.
I see that Dungeon Maiden joined us. Hi, Lisa. And she's saying, hello, all you terrific treasures.
Hello, thank you.
Okay, and
Yeah.
you've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a while now, so are you mainly a player or mainly a gem?
Um, so I have definitely been a player longer than I've been a DM, like in terms of like been playing for oh, now we're going now we're trying to work this out. Potentially 15 plus
Okay.
years. Mostly as a player, because we have our fit, which at forever DM Sam, who like basically have been DMing for most of the time. It was only uh, a few, or it was like about 5 or so years ago that it was getting a little bit too much for him, so he wanted to try being a player as well. So like me and another one of my friends kind of stepped up, so we started DMing kind of thing. So we would split between our campaigns and such like
Yeah,
that. So that's basically like how
that's a fair
um,
arrangement.
yeah. Yeah. So that's basically it. So started yeah,
Okay, I see
being
that.
a dungeon master, yeah, about 5 or so years ago. But in terms of playing, many more years and yeah, more experience being a player.
I mean, it's. I like being on both sides of the table. I don't think I could stick out being a player for too long, but I also don't want to be the forever GM. Know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the thing. I think that sometimes it's one of those things whereby somebody has to take on that mantle
Oh
of
yeah,
being the
absolutely.
dungeon master, and it becomes such an intimidating role that nobody else around the table wants. Like people get used to being a player, like, oh, I don't want to take that on, kind of thing. So it ends up your forever role of you just must be the dungeon master forever. So
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like back when I started trying to run a game for the first time, my previous GM was a player in that game, and that's kind of like, I know you're judging me. I can tell you're judging me, and they're like, nope, nope. I'm just having fun.
yeah, yeah. I think that's the thing. I think it's being a dungeon master. Sometimes you do feel like you are being judged a lot more, kind of thing. And at the end of the day, you're all just around the table trying to have fun. So yeah, so even if like you're a new dungeon master, um, you're gonna probably make mistakes. You're probably not gonna know all the rules off by hand. I mean, I don't know all of the rules, kind of thing. So you just yeah, play it and learn, and which you get better by doing. It's the same as like most things in life. Like
Pretty much,
the
yeah.
more that you do it, you get better. So like it's always the daunting thing of like when you first become a dungeon master. Oh, they're going to judge me. I'm not going to be any good, kind of thing. And yeah, you just have to do it and realize that if especially if you're playing with your friends, then they should realize that you're doing your best and you get better, and that they're not going to judge you too harshly because you're friends. I mean, if you're playing not with your friends, then they might be a bit harsher, kind of thing, depending on what kind of
Yeah,
people
I
they are.
guess, I guess.
But
But again, you've got
yeah,
the things like getting feedback can be a bit tricky as well. Like, okay, are they saying that because they're being nice, or are they saying that because they really had fun and that kind of thing? You know what I mean?
that is true. That is true. You can never know whether you're getting the reliable feedback, but it's it's a way to start, isn't it? Like you become. I still think you become better by doing than anything else. I think so. Yeah,
Okay, I
always give
see.
it a go.
Okay, I see that David has joined us. Hi, David. And David is our electronics guy. So, David, there is one thing from the stuff that Gomez designed that I really want you to see later. If you don't, if you need to leave or whatever, I will send it to you later. Don't worry. And Campaigner is saying, "Ooh, it's a loot loot."
Ah, yes, the Loot Lute. It is. It's the one thing that I haven't worked out a way to put a way of rolling dice into. It's one of those things where, but I like to try to include dice rolling capabilities if I can. So, like for example, like the Lyre. So yeah, again, this is like a magnetic,
Uh huh.
which it feels you. So you can store dice in there, but there is like a hole that goes up to um, this
So it's
section
got a
here.
built-in dice tower.
So yeah, so you can dice tower. So I do try to make dice towers in things if I can, but I've just never worked out a way to do it with the loot. So I was just like, I might go back to that design at some point and try and figure something out. It's probably going to end up being something stupid, but yeah, if I can, I always do try. Yeah, just because I want the thing to be like usable in terms of storage, but also usable in terms of like to actually roll things and do things at the table. So like to
Okay,
make
that's.
multi-purpose.
I mean,
Yeah.
storage is nice, but having all that in there is a lot of fun. So, what do you say we start to have a look at your creations? But first, I'm just going to drop a link for the community showcase in the chat. So, if any of our lovely viewers want to show off what they're working on or what they built, they can just send us a picture. We'll have a look at it at the end of the stream. Okay, good to go.
Of
All
course,
right.
always.
Bam. And we're starting with this rather fetching set of nunchucks.
Yes. So this actually comes from a set that I'm trying to design at this moment in time. We're making uh like pill organizers, for organizing medication and
Hmm.
whatnot. And it's really funny because this basically comes from a friend of mine. that's kind of got like a ADHD,
Hmm.
and they needed a way to organize their medication, and they wanted something that was a little bit more like fun kind of thing. Because with ADHD, it's like adding that little bit of like kind of gamification that makes things a little bit easier for them. So I ended up coming up with different ideas, and the first thing which I came up with was actually the sword. There's like a sword which holds
Ooh, shall we?
pills and whatnot.
I'll just switch to
Um,
that in 1 sec. Let's see. This one, yeah.
yes, yes. There's so much. So that was like my first design was the sword, because I said, well, it was the first thing that came to my mind in terms of what can I do to design something which can hold medication that's kind of like fun warrior combat. I always thought of it as being that like you're fighting off illness. That was like in my head the way
Yeah,
that I
clever.
always saw it is in terms of like you're using these things in your battle to fight off illness. And so I started off with a sword. That was the first one, and I also made potion bottles as well, kind of thing, because I know there's like people who like that. But I gave my friend the sword, and he absolutely loved it. And from there, I kind of just went more and more down the lines of designing things, as well as things to hold dice, things to hold medications and stuff like that as well. So
I,
yeah,
uh,
the sword will always be the first.
I like that. It's got a very kind of Legend of Zelda inspired design, and you, yeah, and it's got a scabbard as well, so that it's not going to, if you're carrying it, it's not going to open up or whatever.
Well, the thing is, like, so I've actually got one here with me.
Here,
So
hang
these
on,
these
hang on,
things
hang on, hang
don't
on.
these,
Here you
these
go.
things don't like slide off, like kind of thing. Like they only slide when you actually do them with your
So you need some
hand. Is like the way
pressure
that
under
so
you.
it's like so yeah, so it's like it's indented. It's like a slider kind of thing that does it, but you got to have a scabbard with a sword, right? And also
Fair,
the
yeah, yeah.
scabbard gave the scabbard gave things to be able to write things. So people want to put messages. Like sometimes people want to write like a character name, or they want to write something. I mean, I have on there like I need to roll a medicine
Uh-huh.
check just because like that was the D&D related thing for me that. But yeah, what you call it? That's the reason why like there's a scabbard is because it adds that extra element of customization kind of
Okay.
thing. Like it does, you can put your own text on there, basically.
Dungeon Matron is saying, my senior citizen self immediately said, "Oh, useful."
Yes, very useful. Yeah. So from the sword, then that's when the nunchucks and the shield as well. Like I've designed a shield as well. So sword and shield, and yeah, nunchucks and the medicine bottles are the things that I have at the moment for medication. But I do have other ideas in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, it's useful for people with ADHD, of course, but again, it's this is fun for anyone.
Well,
It's like,
yeah, well, yeah, of course, of course. But yeah,
give me a second, let me
that
get my medical hammer.
exactly that was the original reason was for a friend who had ADHD. But yeah, it went off from there.
So,
So those are some magnets. Those are magnets that are designed to look like weapons. So that when you put them on like a fridge or something like that to hold up a message, then you're holding them up with a weapon. Just because again that just seemed like a fun a fun thing to design. So that's where that came from. So yeah, they got the axe, the sword. I did an arrow just because for some reason. Oh, the hammer, yes, of course. Um, I did an arrow as well, just because that was fun, and the mace as well, which is in there. But yeah, there are all magnets which it can hold messages on the fridge or whatever surface that you wanted to hold something on that was magnetic. Yeah, it was just
I also like,
you just get a stupid ideas that come into your head, and that was one of mine. I was like, yeah, I'll go with that.
yeah, I mean, like, look, I love that we live in a world where you can get a stupid idea, jump on your PC, design it, and 3D print it because it's like when I was a kid, that was like science fiction level kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, no, but yeah, but you're not wrong. That is basically was science fiction. You got to think about do stuff like that. But yeah,
So let's see, what else have you got? Actually, do you mind if we jump to the lamp, because that's the one that I really wanted David to see.
Yeah, no, of course, by all means.
Okay, look, David, it's another thing you can put LEDs in. I mean, this looks. I'm just gonna say this looks super stylish.
Yeah, that was. I was trying to come up with designs to work with dice, and so this was the first thing that came to mind. Try make like a light kind of thing. So what it is actually a central rod. So there's a central rod which you basically wrap the LEDs around.
Okay.
That comes out that comes out the bottom, like the bottom circular bit. There's like a little connector where you could connect a USB to power source it. And the funny thing is, you could technically put those dice in any order that you want. It's just the D4 which has to go at the top because there's not a hole which goes the whole
I
way
get you.
through
Okay, okay.
the D4. So technically, you could put those in any order you want. But obviously, I put them in standard order of like a site of dice size, just because that makes sense to me. But technically, yeah, all of them have got holes the whole way through, so you can actually technically put them anyway, apart from the D4, which I said doesn't have a hole at the top, so it's kind of always going to be the top. Yeah.
Okay, I think this is about your magnets. Campaigner is saying, I suddenly want to game around the stainless kitchen prep table.
Yeah.
That definitely would be fun. But yeah, I mean, like, this. How large is this exactly?
How large? Ooh, I would say, oh god, like a maybe 50 centimeters tall. Maybe I'd have to actually get
No, that's
a
that's
tape measure or
that is
whatnot
pretty
to.
big actually.
Well, if you imagine like so the thing which is next to it, the
The monitor, yeah.
no, the widget, the um those in it's not in there at the moment, but I normally would have a 30 centimeter ruler which would probably come to the top of the fly swatter which is in there,
Okay.
so the red thing. So that's about the 30 centimeter mark. So whatever that is plus.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
So I'd say about 50 centimeters, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'd have to measure the whole thing.
Uh,
So yeah.
yeah, it is very cool.
Mm. Yeah, no,
Uh,
it was just a fun little thing that I designed. I was like, oh, other people might like this as well because I thought I designed it for myself, and I was like, oh, I'll put it up online and see what people want it.
okay, then we've got
The
these
crossbows.
dice holders. I really like the
Mm.
design on these because the bolt basically acts as a lock on the dice.
Yes, that was part of the cleverness of trying to work out a design of doing a crossbow, trying to come up with a way to lock it, and thinking, yeah, let's use the arrow as the lock kind of thing. So, yeah, so while the arrow is there, the dice won't fall out, and then basically there's like a little circular thing at the base where the arrow goes into, and you just pull the arrow, and then you can release it, and it releases the dice. Yeah.
So, I mean, like,
I haven't got it. There is actually technically holes in the things if you wanted to put like a string or something through it. It's just that
okay.
I just don't. I just yeah. I haven't got it in these pictures because I don't do that myself because I know it's a bit fiddly. And I was like, oh. I mean, to be fair, like I say that, like the loot is probably the most fiddly thing when it comes to the doing the wires or the string kind of thing that goes between us. Probably like the most fiddly thing ever, but I will put up with that. But for some reason, I won't put up with it on the crossbow.
I mean, at least it's not a functional crossbow or whatever.
Well, that is true. It's not functional. I should say that. But yeah, but those are what you better said. It does also come with like little what are they called, like musical notes that you can put the dice on top of for like bardic inspiration kind of thing. And I always give some of those out with
okay.
with the loot, and I always do them the same color, like whatever colors people choose. Because that's the thing, like I let people choose whatever colors they want each part of this thing to be. and sometimes you get some really crazy designs in terms
Oh,
of
all
with
right.
people who choose the different colors. Like I've had somebody choose like a really kind of like a dark kind of, I'm trying to think what I'd call it, a dark green, but it was like more like sage, or maybe sage green. I don't know.
Okay.
I got colors, which is that with a kind of light blue as being the lid kind of thing, and that one actually looked quite nice.
All right.
People come up with uh, red, which for some reason red and black seems to be one of the most popular choices. Red
I
and
mean,
black are
it is
one of
a
the
very striking. It's always a very striking combination.
Wait, so that always seems like to be the one that most people go for. But yeah, so yeah, like you can customize each bit of it to be any color. It's the same with anything that I sell on my shop. You can customize any colors that you want, and I'll
Well,
just work it
speaking of
out.
striking, yeah.
Oh yeah, so which I have that in the background as well, like in terms of
Okay,
if in front of me here
hang on.
they are
Oh, sorry.
lovely. You gotta have a lovely flail every now and again. With the flail, it also so it's got it unwraps there, so you can basically put dice and what's actually inside the ball itself, kind of thing. I'll sort that in a bit. And it also in the base of here also unwraps, so you can put stuff in there as well, be it like pens or something like that, or more dice, whatever you want to put, whatever you want to put in these things, you can do. So always, yeah, again, trying to put as multiple storage solutions into the design, so you can do whatever you want with them. But yeah.
I'm guessing you have a lot of fun designing these things. It's like,
Oh yeah, no, 100%. It's a lot of fun. It's always trying to come up with something, and be like, what can I add to this? What can I make this like the best it can be, kind of thing.
and I see there's the potion bottles in the background here as well.
Yes. It's potion bottles as well. So you unscrew the cork and that, so you can put um, stuff. There's also the hammers in the background as well. Like there's
Okay, yeah, I see it.
like a war hammer, which yet again is a dice tower as well that you can roll the dice down the middle bit and it comes out the bottom. Yeah.
Okay, I admit there was one thing which I couldn't understand. It's like this thing.
Well, right. So this is like I said, it's a wand and it's a spell slot tracker. So it actually has on
Okay.
there 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 9, and actually each one of those cogs has the right number of how many spell slots you would have at each of those levels, kind of thing. So
Okay.
you can't. So yeah, it's basically just you could just turn it to represent how many spell slots you have left of that number. That's yeah. That's just
All
it.
right.
It was one of those things. I was like, I want to create a spell slot tracker, and I was just thinking, what can I do? And I was like, oh, a wand would be fun, wouldn't it? Like a wand spells. And so when I went down that line of making it so it's got little cogs that you can turn with each of the numbers and that. So yeah.
Yeah, one thing I'm realizing about this is like, yeah, there are 3D print, there are 3D prints, there were 3D prints, but there's quite a fair amount of engineering going here, like with the spinners, the threaded inserts, the magnets, and stuff like that. I mean, like, they're very interesting designs.
Well, that's the funny thing as well. That's part of when I design things as well. If I'm designing, sometimes I will go with I don't know how to do this in terms of so um, for this one, I think it was trying to design cogs that would spin. Um, so I was just like, I am going to teach myself how to make that work, like in terms of with the potion bottles, it was learning how to use threads, like in terms of like I said, you can thread things together to turn and that like that.
Okay.
I hadn't used them before that point. Um, the sword was the slides, like in terms of like making slides that actually um, hold themselves in place. There's a number, yeah. It's like anything whereby if I've not tried to integrate some kind of thing into a design, then I would sometimes build a design so that I can use that ability. So one thing that I haven't used yet is hinges. So making it like a hinge kind of thing,
Okay.
and that I am working on making like a spell book kind of thing
Oh, okay.
that can so like the hinge being on like the lid of the book. And I have a few designs that I want to do with that. So one will be to hold dice that will also have a dice tower in it, but another thing is yet again with pill boxes or pill images is having a bookshelf which has got all of those like little books like for each day of the week kind of thing, and that you can hold medication in. So that's also another
Oh, that would
thing that I
be
want to do
so awesome.
with that. So yeah, different things in my mind of things I want to create. But yeah,
So then you made me
coming
saying
soon. Coming soon, hopefully.
an initiative tracker would be useful too. So do you have one of those already?
I see. I have a initiative tracker idea that I haven't actually fully fully realized. I want to say that somewhere I do have a YouTube short on the basics of it. Let me see whether I can find it, because basically what I would do, because with initiative trackers, I always find that one of the most annoying things about it is that it doesn't move to like what you're like. You have to physically move them or
Yeah, it's
move
like you have to
the
slot
pieces
them in place
and
and yeah.
stuff like that. So I wanted to design something which actually took that into account and would actually move like a rotating what do you call it kind of thing. So I'll see if I can quickly find this just to send your way. Um, but it was basically I never actually went back and designed it more. I think it's because I have so many designs going on in my head
Haha.
that I actually forgot about this one. So it's funny that it gets mentioned that like I'm making an initiative tracker, because I said technically it was that I kind of started and then never went back to. So well,
Yeah, I mean, like,
one second.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like, tracking initiative seems to be one of the major pain points with D&D because there's all kinds of initiative trackers.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Admittedly, yeah, because I could have made a standard initiative tracker. There's like multiple ways that you could do it with 3D printing. Yeah, I just wanted to make something that was a little bit. Why is my widget shorts not working the way that I wanted to? Because I've actually found the video, but for some reason it keeps loading a different one. But I keep
Oh
trying
no!
to do it. But yes, it is. And I have an annoyingly loud voice as well, so that's never good when I hear my own voice back in my ears.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, I think that's one of the worst parts of editing videos. In my
Yeah,
case, at least, I think. It,
hearing yourself back, you actually realize how annoying you are. I think, like in terms of
yeah.
that's always one of the things as well when it comes to it. But
Yeah, it's like, who is this person talking? I mean, like, I
oh, you
said
know,
those words. Yeah, what?
it always feels terrible hearing myself back. I must sound so annoying to most people. Like in terms of like, I don't understand how anyone puts up with me. Like in like you've got your own voice in your head kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
he's far more impressive in my head than than the words that actually come out of my mouth. As I said, it's one of those things whereby like it's kind of a going back to Yu-Gi-Oh, like the Pharaoh Yami Yugi situation where like in my head I sound like this and I would got a much more magnificent voice, but the actual real me is far less superior.
Don't worry, I mean, like, you're sounding good here so far, so do not worry about that.
But yeah, okay, there we
So
go.
let me bring up some more pictures while you're looking. And let's see. Axe. I like the axe.
Yeah, no, the axes, which the axe again was a fun one to design. It was one of those things whereby I made it more complicated for myself than I needed to, and it was purely for the look aesthetic. Is
Hmm.
the only reason why I made things more complicated for myself, because basically, it would have made things a lot more easier if I had just made it one singular unit, like in terms of the top section, because it would have meant that I could have actually added threads to the top portion, and the bottom bit would have made it a lot more easier to go together. But the way that it would print it flat on the 3D printing bed, so it would look completely different to the rest of the top sections that were printed separately, like the two
I
like
see. Yeah.
lid sections. So I was like, I can't have that. That doesn't look good to me. Like it's not aesthetically pleasing to me. So I completely redesigned it to separate those two bits, which made the whole rest of it a lot harder. But to me, it needed to be done. Yes, I think I've sent you the. Hopefully, I've sent you the video now to
Okay, so
that. Yeah.
just one sec. I'll try to cut it in. But yeah, I mean, like we're mostly here. We mostly do tabletop crafts, tabletop terrain stuff. So we understand everything about making things more complicated than they have to be for the sake of aesthetics.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so let me cut this in here.
It was one of those things whereby, so that video was of the demo, like the actual proof of concept kind of thing. And if I was actually going to design it better, I would have had like both sides being like swords and that, and actually would have made it like actually look more aesthetically pleasing. This was more a proof of concept, is what this is. But
It
yeah, it was the
definitely
idea.
looks interesting.
Mm.
One sec.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say the idea of it is that you could just turn it, and so in terms of rolling initiative, it would just continuously, and like the little white bits are like whiteboard kind of things, so you can erase it and then add new names and such like that. But basically, it's so that it would turn itself, so you could but the thing of it is, it ends up being that obviously you could only have a maximum number of those things. So it depends on obviously how many things are in combat on that initiative tracker. But yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
if you fill if you fill all of that up, you might have a different kind of problem.
yeah, that was an idea of an initiative tracker which actually turned like so that it would um move itself rather than you having to move, or I say move itself, technically you've still got to turn the things, but it would stay in the same order the whole way through, like, if you know what I mean. That was a stupid idea.
I mean,
But
like
yeah.
it's a very interesting idea. So let me just remove this. Oh, no, remove, not rename. Remove there. Yes, I want to remove it. Okay. So David is saying unnecessary complexity. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think that sometimes we do make things a lot more complicated than it has to be, but in our heads it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I see that people are really liking that initiative tracker.
Oh, that's
Right.
nice. Well, thank you. That's good. Like, I might have to go back and work on it, because
Oh yeah,
basically I would admit
I'm afraid
it got.
I'm afraid you'll have to know. But joking aside, I mean, like the other initiative tracker that I saw that really worked really well was the one that they use in the Conan board game, which is basically just literally a slide. You put
Right, okay.
the cards down in order, and when someone finishes their turn, you pull the card from the beginning of the stack, you put it back at the end, and you push everything in, and it just keeps moving the things along.
You see, that is a far less
Yes,
complicated
yes.
thing than what I designed.
But is it more fun? I would say probably not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I had thought about that when I was first designing, I would have made that would have been a far more easier than what I decided to design, which was a whole like a thing with cogs and shit like that to be able to make it so that it went all the way around. Yeah.
I mean, on the other hand, it's also part of your learning process because you you do
I
the
mean,
thing, you learn how to do the thing. Even if you don't use that, then you're using it somewhere else.
to be fair, that is true. Like, it did teach me how to design something which actually um, was a functioning mechanical kind of device. Like, so it did help me with that. I will admit that much.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. It is a more boring idea than the thing with gears and stuff. So let's
Mm.
see, because we've got more stuff here. And by the way, I dropped the link to your Etsy store in the chat, so people know
Oh,
where to
thank you,
find your
thank you.
things. Oh, these are dice with dice in them.
So they are planters, so you can
Oh,
put plants in them.
planters.
There's
Okay.
basically there's a drainage hole at the bottom as well, like that. So this one was like a bit of a weird thing whereby I sometimes look at Etsy's which get SEOs kind of thing in terms of like what
Hmm.
is that traffic going towards, and cute planters was one of the things which was um something which was highly searched or something like that. So I
Really?
was like,
Okay.
I need to make some kind of Dungeons and Dragons themed planter. I know, I'll use a dice, or I use dice, but let's cut the top off and put a drainage hole at the bottom. Yes, no one will ever know.
Okay. I mean,
And
like,
hence that was born.
I would never have thought about planters to be honest, but yeah, I mean, if it flies, it flies.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, speaking about let's see, how do you find managing it? Because I'm going to be honest with you. The idea of taking orders, fulfilling orders, taking the orders to the post office, shipping them, that fills me with horror. Honestly, it's like,
I mean, I've never minded it because basically, every single time a new order comes through, it just goes straight to my email, so I see it, and I'm like, okay, right, and it will tell me like what colors and that they want each of the bits. So I just load them up on the machine, like I find the colors that they want and print it. And then sometimes there are additional things that need to be done, like bits need to be glued or like I said, the strings and such. Sometimes if somebody orders a loot, um, but yeah, which it basically I just put it together, and I've got the Royal Mail site connected to my Etsy, so basically it will automatically put the shipping details onto a label, and that, and I basically pay the cost of shipping and print the label. All good. Like
okay.
I don't, I'm not. It's never been an issue to me, basically, in terms of just sorting that stuff out. It's one of the things I really enjoy. And of course, I always include little extras. There's always uh, a letter in each of them that's like a
Like the ones
wax
that are
seal.
like the ones in the photos.
Yes, yes. So like a letter, which is always a thank you letter, and it's always like a worded like a an old timely shopkeep, um, which it would word something like a basically thank you for well met and such like that.
Yeah, that's
Blah
so
blah
nice.
blah. And yeah, there's always a riddle on the back as well. So I always add a
Ooh.
little riddle onto the back of the letter, and yeah, it's like a wax sealed envelope, which is all hand wax sealed, um, and there's always a set of dice in there as well. And I try to match the set of dice to the order if I can, like in terms of color wise. If I can see
Okay.
there's a set of dice that's like okay, that kind of color, I'll try and match it like that. But yeah, that's always it's always a little fun because it's things that I think like myself like. If I was buying something, what would I want to receive as like little extras? And so, yeah, I just put those things in just for fun.
Okay. You mentioned riddles. Like, could you give us an example of one?
So one of the most like the ones that I basically got on here is that. Oh, give me 1 second. I actually think that I do
Take your
actually
time.
have the piece of paper. I think I've got the piece of paper like here. So let me just quickly. This one I always find a really fun riddle. And it's always like the one that I always put in like the first um, order because basically that if people do multiple orders, then there's additional ones. But this is always the first one. Because to me, this is one of those riddles where people either get it straight away or people will spend ages trying to sort this one out in terms of my
Okay.
experience from players, which is in the dead of night, which in the dead of night, a rogue, their eyes set on breaking into the mage tower for its promise of rare magical items, creeps into an alleyway near the entrance of the tower. Lying in wait, they hear a mage approach the tower, where at the entrance there is a suit of armor which magically comes to life and says 6. To which the mage replies 3. Hearing this, the suit of armor steps aside and allows the mage to enter the tower before the armor, which shudders back to lifeless metal. Soon after, another mage approaches, and the armor comes back to life and says 12. To which there's a brief pause, and then the mage utters 6. Yet again, they are allowed entry. The cunning rogue, now believing that they understand the key to entry, walks up to the tower, walks up to the suit of armor, and it comes to life and says 10. The rogue smiles and proclaims 5. No sooner has that word left their mouth that the sword comes and cuts them in twain. What should the rogue have replied?
Ooh, okay. Okay, chat.
So yeah, so basically, so the first one, the armor said 6, and the mage said 3, and was allowed to go in. The next one, the armor said 12, and the mage said 6, and was allowed entry. So it is the fact that the armor said 10, and the rogue said 5. 5 was actually wrong, and they were cut in 2. So that's the.
That is good.
There goes my cup down. Yeah, that's just a fun riddle that I had to the first letter. But yeah.
Okay.
It's up to you whether you you can solve that or whether or not you want me to.
That's okay. I'm thinking about it, and chat. If you have any answers yourselves, just drop them in there and see if any of us get it right.
From experience, people either get this instantly, people understand this instantly, or they don't understand it and will take ages. From a dungeon master perspective, that's what I've noticed. Some people overthink.
Hey, Salty Nick, good to see you. And yeah.
Salty Nick, lovely man. Lovely calligraphy. I wish I could have.
Oh,
I wish I had.
yeah.
I wish I had like a little morsel of that man's talent when it comes to calligraphy.
Nick is an absolute artist when it comes to calligraphy. And yeah, Dungeon is asking, can you buy these unpainted? About your prints, I mean.
So technically, you could just order it as every single part being white or grey, and then you could get them and put a primer undercoat on them, and then paint them whatever color you wanted. I mean, obviously, they print in because it's a Bamboo Labs multicolor printer. That's how you can get the color changes. But technically, you could just order everything as being said white or grey, and then just primer undercoat, paint over them, because it is what you. At the end of the day, it's just plastic. It's the same kind of thing. Some people use 3D printers to print miniatures and then paint them. So you can totally paint them. That's not really an issue. It's up to you whether or not you wanted to make that. Whether or not that's what you wanted to do. I'm not gonna. After you ordered them, that's after when they get shipped to you. That's up to you then what you do with them.
Okay, so let's see. Najibet is saying the answer to 10 is 3.
Yes. Yes, that is correct. That's what I mean. People either get this or they don't.
Okay, yeah, I definitely don't. Yeah.
This is proving that fact very quickly.
I am going to have to science this later to understand how it works, but yeah.
Are you sure? Do you want a hint or?
Okay, yeah, bring it.
If you want a hint with the numbers, try writing them down.
Mm-hmm. So first one is 6, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. I think you got it.
Okay, I got it.
It's one of those fun things where 6 and 12, the number of letters in them is what just happens to be half.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll need to remember that one. I'm probably going to annoy a lot of people with that. Okay,
It's one of those things whereby, yeah, it literally just, I said, people either get it immediately or will take ages.
there's this kind of tabletop RPG joke where you put a riddle for toddlers or a puzzle for toddlers in front of your party, and they'll probably spend 5 weeks figuring it out.
Mm,
But yeah, I mean, like when you see it in something like this, it's like, yeah, the brain literally switches off.
yep.
Okay, we have a question from David who's saying, have you considered designing puzzle problems for GMs to use as an alternative encounter?
Um, are we talking about puzzles in terms of physical puzzles to 3D print, or are we talking puzzles in terms of just like coming up with concepts? Because technically, if we're talking about coming up with concepts, then on my channel, I actually have a few videos on puzzles, like in terms of different puzzle ideas and concepts that you can use, like in terms of to throw in front of your players. In different situations. So technically, if you would check out the channel, there's multiple of those. And if we're also talking about physical puzzles, 3D printing physical puzzles to put in front of your players, I actually have one video on that where there are free designs which you can get for free. In terms of that are connected to that video, so you can just 3D print them and put them in front of your players and see how they deal with them. And also for the dungeon jam, which is going to be like
It's
not this week. Yeah,
yeah, it's on Monday 25th,
the,
so it's not this Monday, it's the Monday after that.
yes. My dungeon, I actually did design a puzzle in that which you can 3D print as well. I do
Ooh, okay.
explain in the video, and that STL will be for free as well, connected to that video. Um, I also explained that technically, if you don't have a 3D printer, there's a different puzzle that you can put in that room, and I do explain that as well. So you don't have to use that, but it is something that if you wanted to put a physical puzzle in front of your players, you can do. So technically, yes to both of those, whether or not you meant um, actual puzzles that you to design to 3D print or puzzles that are just concepts. I've done both, so
That's
hopefully that explains that.
that's massive fun. But since we mentioned the Dungeon Gem, I'm just going to drop the link to the Dungeon Gem channel here, and
Yes, of
like
course, of
like I
course.
said, that's going to go on the 25th, and several dungeon tubers, including Gomez here, including myself, Soltanic, will be throwing out a whole bunch of videos and adventures for everyone to take out, rip apart, play in, and have fun. So yeah,
Yep.
that's coming in a couple of weeks.
Indeed, yeah. So I did. That's the funny thing. I didn't put down. I didn't. I just don't have the capability because I didn't. I'm no good at designing maps. I make maps in terms of like for when I'm dungeon mastering, but I mostly just draw them terribly in paint or
It
at the
works.
table kind of thing. So I've not actually. And in the video, you see me badly draw them previously, but I don't actually have any maps that like a PDF wise to give to people because normally what I'd do is I would like to hire an artist to actually do them, but I didn't have the money or the time, so I don't have them for this video. And also, I know that everyone else has kind of done PDFs explaining their adventures. I just explain the entire adventure in the video because PDFs and likely writing stuff down has never been my strong suit. Hopefully for next year, I will sort out my shit to do that. But this will be the first dungeon jam that I've ever done, so I'm just going to explain the whole thing in the video. And yeah,
I mean, it is a lot of fun. I mean, like I was in it last year as well, and seeing what everyone comes up with is pretty amazing. But I'm with you on maps because the only map I can draw accurately is literally ground zero of a nuclear explosion.
yes.
Anything more complex than that, I'm in trouble.
At least you have that.
So let's see. Soltanic is saying a closed door is the bane of any adventuring party. But yesterday I watched an actual play of Tales from Elsewhere, and the culprit was a small pond.
I
Okay,
mean,
you.
if that's the way to go forward, then yes. I mean, technically, like a magical small pond might be a way to go. Like even into the Feywild, like in terms of like one of the things which I did was in Fey Week for Monster
Hmm.
Week. One
Yeah.
of the things is Fey crossings, because Fey crossings going from the material plane to the Feywild can be like a multitude of complex things and whatnot. So it was just a well in the middle of the forest, and its whole thing is that you've got to throw a coin in there to make it into a wishing well, and that's what then makes it into a portal to go into the Feywild. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, remember, kids, everything can be a portal if you fail hard enough.
Yes.
So let's see. Yeah, last thing I think we had on your photos was the Pepperbox, which I would really like to
Yes,
bring up
I,
again
I,
because.
I, I do actually have one here as well. The
Oh,
old
good.
this one
Okay.
actually is as close to the Pepperbox as I can get it in terms of the fact that it actually has like the names on there that Percy would have. But it was one of these when designing this. So obviously it's got like the trigger, which like does come back to finishing and that. But it had to have a satisfying like a kind of spinny aspect to
Of
it,
course
kind
it
of thing.
did.
That was very very important. Yeah, basically it unscrews like the middle unit. And then this bit comes off, and basically you can put dice in there, but it is also a spiraling staircase
Oh,
because
okay.
technically it is also a dice tower as well. Like in terms of, like I said, the dice will come out the bottom there, so you can put the dice in the top, and it will roll down and come out of there as well. So yeah, again, coming up with weird, crazy designs to store dice, but also make things into dice towers and such like that is always part of the fun when it comes to designing things. And admittedly, it's not actually an accurate Pepperbox because I believe the Pepperbox only has 6 chambers, whereas this one has 7, and that was only because that's the amount of dice that there are. So to me, it was like a chamber per dice kind of thing in terms of In
Well,
my head, that made sense, but
I mean, we
yeah,
can call it artistic liberty. It's like,
it's
it's where it
close
exists.
enough, close enough to the pepper box. Yeah,
Just
and
thinking
yeah.
about it.
Again, you see some people come up with because I've had the things which tend to get ordered the most are the loot seems to be like one of the top images.
Mhm. Right?
The what you call it, potion bottles, and the pepper box.
Really? All right.
And yet again, people do choose some really weird colors that you could get some blues in there, you get some oranges and such like that. So people do choose some interesting colors combinations sometimes when it comes to these things. And yet again, you can, if you want to, customize and put names on the barrel, like the one that I had there, which has like
Hmm.
basically all the names which Percy has on the barrels, which you can technically finish so you can have different names and what on there. But yeah, or whatever, or technically whatever messages you want, which I seem to remember somebody having like this really crazy message, which I really didn't. I was like, I mean, if that's what you want to pay for, then that's what you can pay for. But it was something I'd have to look back through the themages, but I swear it was something to do with Jesus or some kind of like full on Bible quote or something along those kind of lines. That they was like,
That's
if that's what you want, I'm not gonna like that's up to you. Yeah.
So Sultanic is saying, link those guns on the Tales from Earth or Discord and see your stock sell out.
I mean, because Towers from Elsewhere, that's the game which
Peter's working on you.
Peter, yeah, I was gonna say because I've seen bits and pieces, but I haven't actually really got. So, is it really gun heavy then, or is it? It's just what you call? I don't actually know
Uh,
what he's.
I mean, it's cowboys, undead, demon-looking thingies, horrifying things, more cowboys, and even more horror. So yeah, it is pretty gun heavy. It's
Fair
literally
play, fair play,
Western horror basically.
fair play.
My paperwork says, Carl. You're gonna need a bigger gun, Lisa.
I mean, if that's what you want to have on each of the chambers, I'm not going to stop you. But yeah, no, it's fun designing things and then just like giving the option for customization, especially when it comes to like allowing people to write messages, and that sometimes it can be very interesting to see what people write. That's all I was saying. It can be very interesting.
So Campaign Terrain is saying the Bible quote would be probably the one from Boondock Saints. That would be a good one to
It
put
could
away.
have been. I don't know. I honestly don't know where it was from.
In my head, I would have guessed more the one from Pulp Fiction, but yeah, I think that would work really well too.
It definitely wasn't the one from Pulp Fiction
All right.
because I would have noticed that one. I would have. Oh, this quote. I didn't know what the hell it was.
And
But
let's see,
yeah.
okay, we've got the Lyre.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big accessories guy, but these tables must be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's well again like so. That's just as I said with storage and dice tower in those. Yeah, it was basically I because it was one of those things, but I was going on because the loot was so popular. I was like, oh, what other kind of bard things? Because it's one of those things about I kind of want to try and design something for each class, and but I was like, oh, people seem to love the bard one so much. Let's try and make another bard thing, and so I made the lyre, and yeah, not sold a single one. So it's not
Really?
apparently lyres are not popular. Only
Eh,
only the loot is. So
okay, let me pitch you a terrible idea. So,
yes,
a flute.
if it's bagpipes, I have thought about it.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, no, because if I was going to do bag, because it's one of those weird things where like I posted about the loot, um, and somebody was like, "Oh, you know, it'd be amazing if you made bagpipes." And it really made me think about it. And I was thinking, okay, right, if I was to make bagpipes, so what I'd have to do is number one, I'd have to learn sewing because I'd have to probably so make the bag actually like a basically drawstring bag, and that could be where you put the dice. So the bag would be where the dice are in, and then each of the things going off of it, you could so they'd be 3D printed, and you'd work out a way to connect it to
Uh huh.
the bag. And you could potentially have one of the things as being like what you've seen with the wand being like a spell slot tracker, because like our bards have spells, so you could have like a spell slot tracker for one of them. Maybe one of them could be where you could put pens or something like that, so it unscrews and then you can put pens in and screw back up again. And there was so much of me that was trying to work out how I could logistically try and put a dice tower in somehow, but I never worked that part out.
I
But
mean, you could
I
do
have thought about bag.
one of the pipes, I guess. But yeah, but think about it. I mean, like the bard could roll up at the table and say, "Character sheets are so 2024. Here's my character bagpipe."
So he's like, no one expects the character back with the bagpipe. But I have thought about it. That's what my point is. I mean, technically, you could have which technically on one of them. Yeah, again, you could like so you got a spell slot tracker on one, and technically you could have a health tracker on one of them. So, like I said, it would do health, but also on that one, you could have a death saving throw tracker as well in terms of so like a little skull and a little thing, which so the three of those and see. So there are things you could do with it, right? Which is with these. This is the thing with me. Like I said, with the initiative tracker and stuff like that. I have so many stupid ideas that come into my mind. I just don't have the time to
But
make all of these things happen.
okay, so just to recap quickly, the idea I was going to pitch you was definitely more boring. It was just a flute. You could also use a blowpipe to shoot dice. But
I mean, that could work.
uh, a friend of mine recently showed me. I have a friend who's a bagpiper, and he's got this thing which is called an electronic bagpipe. I think it looks like any cigarette, but it's literally
I
just.
didn't know. I didn't know that was a thing. But
Yeah, I mean, like I only found out about it a couple of weeks ago, but basically can use it to practice his piping. He can plug headphones into it so he can not deafen anyone on a 30-mile radius. But you could have an attachment to your character backpipe where you could plug that in and you can play the thing while you're also tracking initiative and stuff.
I mean, that could work if I knew if I could find what one of these things are to find a way to put it into the design. Into the design. But yeah.
Now, on to more sensible things. Dungeon Matron is asking, has anyone ever requested dice holders for 30, 50, or 100-sided dice?
No, actually, no, not so far anyway. So you'd be the first if you did, like, because it depends on what kind of thing it is. Because obviously, if we're talking about the loot, or like, I guess obviously like these are just like a set to the standard sizes of dice, or if we're talking about the lyre, obviously the lyre's also got that. But if you're talking about one of the designs, like which is like the potion bottles, or like the flail, then technically like anything that can fit in like that gap, technically like any dice size that could fit in there, but nothing, not that I've been asked for specifically in terms of can you design something for a 30, 50, or 100-sided dice yet. But I could definitely make things. I could definitely work things out to answer that question.
I know, I'm wondering if you ever branch out from, D&D accessories, you could go into, I don't know. I'm just going to throw this out there, and I know that some people will be pestering you for the rest of your life for this, but Call of Cthulhu themed accessories might be a big thing.
See, Call of Cthulhu, that would require. I definitely would want to learn No Man's Sculpt for that, because I said
Hmm.
tentacles and stuff like that would be better sculpted than like it'd be harder to do in Fusion 360,
Hmm.
which is, as I
Yeah.
said, the design software that I use at the moment. So I'd have to, or potentially maybe even try to use Blender again, like I was hearing that they've updated, and that I'd have to use something like that in order to get the organic lookingness of like tentacles and stuff like that. I'd have to use a piece of software like that I have not yet mastered, but it's not saying that I can't.
Okay.
So definitely an idea.
So getting back to selling things online and stuff, is there anything in particular that you found to be unexpectedly difficult, or hey, this was easier than I thought it would be, that kind of thing?
Um, Nothing really that comes to mind. I think probably the biggest hurdle was actually first putting items online, like in terms
Okay.
of the fact, like that um, I would design and then redesign and tweak and um, try to make something as perfect as it could possibly be before wanting to put
Okay.
it
Yeah.
on. Before, because I'm like, if I'm going to sell this, this has to be the best that it can be. And so, like, because I don't want people to be disappointed. I don't want people to like go for it to turn up and be, oh, what's this piece of shit kind of thing. So the initials of actually putting things online and out there for the public, that was probably the biggest hurdle to get over to begin with. um Now it is more that like having the time to design, and I'm just like, I'll make this as good as I can, see if it sells. If it sells and there is a problem, then I will get the feedback. I will either refund the person, or I will design and make it better based on their images and send them a new one, kind of thing. Like in terms of any kind of constructive criticism that I get, because I've actually had people go, "Oh, I got this design. It would be better if this," and I have made that improvement and then shipped them the improvement, because, like, to me, I want things to be the best that they can be for
Yeah, I mean,
people.
that
So
absolutely that makes
yeah,
sense. Because,
so that
yeah,
was yeah. So
because if you're talking about a digital product, that would be easier. Oh, this is wrong. Like, just update it and it's out. But with a physical product, you've got all this. You have to fix it, and then you have to redo it, and then you have to send it back, and it's.
yeah, but I don't mind. I don't mind doing that stuff as long as it is like, because to me, it's more about making a name that can be trusted, like in terms of like, this is one of those things where, like, as I've said before, I think I've said to you, I can't remember where it was. I think I might have said to you before that I hate these people who just like go on there, find already stuff that people have designed, like the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
dragons, the fucking dragons which are everywhere. Like, I basically like take a design, put it on the printer, and go, there you go. Huh, I'm a 3D printer, which I sell things. Like, to me, that's not. There's no skill involved in that, and most of the time they don't give a shit in terms of like they'll put down the infill to the least it can possibly be, so they're not sturdy. And like, once you take them home, they'll break, and they don't care. They're not going to refund you. They're not going to finish again that. Whereas I want to make the things the best that I can, and hopefully so that they last. Kind of thing. And as I said, if there's ever any problems which people have, then I have no issue with reprinting and sending new stuff to people, just because like if I feel bad if something has broken or something like that, which admittedly has happened the odd time with the loot, like in terms of
Really?
with the loot. So the weakest part of this whole thing is this connection here, where the handle meets the thing. That bit
Okay.
there is the weakest thing in terms of like if in the post, because obviously I put protective stuff around it and do the best that I can. But if people have mishandled it in, like, obviously I've got no control over the postal service in terms of PvP, but if they do something and put enough force and that snap, sometimes people have had it where that bit has snapped, and I have immediately apologized and sent a new top half to them, because obviously I don't want anyone to be disappointed with these things. So that is, in the whole time I've done it, that's happened twice. And yeah, I've always sent new stuff, because to me, I said, having a name and a themagy whereby people can trust you and realize that technically, yeah, sure, you are trying to make some money, because who's not if they're selling things, but you still do care about the end result of what the customer is getting, and you want them to have the best experience they can, and that kind of matters more in a manner of speaking. Yeah, that's what it's more about to me. I know that there's people who just don't give a fuck, but
Yeah, I mean, like,
that's
I,
always
thi- I, thi- I
what.
think it's important that because from even from the other things you mentioned, like putting in the letter with the wax seal, sticking in the extra dice and stuff like that, it's clear that you care out about the experience your customers get. So yeah,
Yeah,
that is
well,
very
of course,
admirable.
yeah, yeah. Always want to do that, because it's like, I feel like that fosters trust, and if that fosters some kind of trust, then potentially they're going to come back. So that's
Yeah, the
always, to
community
me,
reference,
like
yeah.
yeah, that's always the thing. Like, but yeah,
And
I always find that's more important.
yeah, let's be honest. I mean, the first time someone rolls up to the table with a battle axe dice holder or a character bagpipe, everyone's going to want one.
Exactly. I have to get on designing that bagpipe.
Yep, yep. So, David is saying, this entire chat is very inspiring, guys. I really want puzzle piece where the PCs have to collect 3 pieces to unlock a box containing the main prize. Okay.
See, I haven't designed that, but I did actually design an actual. So, in one of my videos where there's 3D designs, one of them is like actual like turny, what you call it, cogs, which on the end of each cog you can put different shaped well, crystals, but whatever you want to say they are. And basically, the idea of it is that the puzzle is that your characters have, or your players have got to turn them to, like, so that each one has got a matching um crystal color, like on each of the turny things. And like, that's one of the puzzles, and the other one was actually a physical puzzle whereby it was like kind of I designed kind of like almost Lego pieces which go together in this thing. You could basically put it together to um, make a design thing. So yeah, again, those are completely free. So if you've got a 3D printer and want to do this for your players, you give that a go. but I do I do like the idea of trying to make puzzles that even like a kind of uh, escape room box kind of thing to send to
Ah,
people, like designing something like that that's like a treasure chest or like a book or something whereby you got to do certain things in order to unlock things. I have actually thought of these ideas in my head and things that I would want to include in there. I just haven't had the time to sit down actually, because it's one of those things whereby because obviously day job, small child who is what you like, just over 1 years old,
ah,
uh creating YouTube content
as well,
and
yeah.
and when it's selling stuff online and stuff like that, having the time for design is the least amount of time that I have right now. So it's one of those, I have all these ideas in my head. I just don't have the time to be able to put it down. But at some point, slowly but surely, I design things, and I will get there. But I do like. It has been an idea that I have had to design things which are basically like a escape room kind of boxes. But yeah.
I'm gonna admit, guilty pleasure. I love watching YouTube videos of people building those in wood. It's like it's crazy
Oh
stuff.
yeah, no. Don't get it. Like yeah, we see people like who make tables and stuff like that, where like there's like hidden
Yeah.
compartments and it is very inspiring. And it's like I wish I had those skills. I can't do woodwork, but I could potentially design and 3D print something that could do something like that. Yeah.
So let's see. Soltanik is saying, I used to sell calligraphy on Etsy, and the most difficult part was taking good photos of it. Yeah, I
Oh yeah, no.
remember.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Getting eye-grabbing photos is like still something which I suffer terribly in terms of trying to get that perfect.
I mean,
But
yeah,
I,
I think you're doing a good job of it.
you do the best you can. But in terms of like when you've got beautiful calligraphy skills like that, Nick, I'm surprised like you haven't got people like always wanting you to do like their wedding invitations or wedding what the placeholder place card things. Like I'm surprised like you don't have people want to do that for you all over the place. But yeah.
A Hellraiser type puzzle box would be.
I I mean, it's one of those things where like the Hellraiser one, like don't get me wrong, but it ends up going into like a weird like because obviously it first starts off as a box, doesn't it? And it kind of elongates at some point and then becomes like from what I can remember in
Yeah,
the
I don't.
movies, it's such a weird, which is such a weird box.
I don't think it fully follows the rules of physics, but
It does. It does.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I would love to because the Hellraiser series, like, there's a very fun series of films.
okay. And a skull as a hit point trigger where you remove teeth would be fun.
but with that, you'd have to like know the amount of teeth because admittedly, like health points go up significantly. Like in terms of like you can have people with whatever level and they've got hundreds of hit points. So trying to work out the teeth in
Yeah.
terms of like it'd be like shock out of all the teeth that would be in there. Don't get me wrong, it's a great idea. It's just that it'd be very hard to implement.
Yeah, I think maybe for EZD6 it might be easier,
Mm.
but EZD6 characters have either 3 or 5 hit points, so it's more like it would be more like a met head skull, I guess, with only 3 teeth or what have you.
I mean, you could close. I mean, closer you could probably work out spell slots like
Yeah,
that in
yeah.
terms of like that'd be the closer number potentially. But yeah,
So Soltanic is saying it could work in Daggerheart. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think that they have a more modest number of hit points. But yeah,
And I've seen people. I know that Daggerheart. I have seen people designing the fear trackers.
mhm.
I've seen people design different ones of those. The thing is, although I have the books and I have read them, I've never actually played Daggerheart. Yeah, I've never actually played a game of Daggerheart yet. Maybe at some point I will, but so systems which I have read but then not actually played. Daggerheart's definitely one, and then there's another one which is like you got a whole stack of them. Yeah. There's the Monty Python one as well, which was a Kickstarter, which
Oh,
I
the extracurricular historical activity.
that one. Yes, there was also the Discworld one, which I think
No?
is like GUPS. I want to say it's the GUPS
GURPS. Okay.
system. Haven't played that one. Yeah, which I've obviously played Dungeons and Dragons, some Pathfinder, which it's bloody hell, what's the one which is in space?
Starfinder.
Starfinder, is it
Starfinder. Yeah.
Starfinder? Oh, Starfinder. Call of Cthulhu. I have played the game Call of Cthulhu. Trying to think what other system. I played a system which my forever dungeon master actually made that was called Broken Star, which Broken Star is still one of the funnest campaigns and whatnot that I've ever
Really?
been
All
in
right.
terms of like it was set in so the setting of Broken Star is space. And it's a very fun system in terms of the fact that it was 3d6s. So for everything you rolled 3d6s, and basically it was whether or not you got doubles or triples. Like if you got triples, like especially if you got triple sixes, that's where stuff kicked off, kind of thing. Like basically that's like the nat 20 of that system. But yeah, basically it was so it was 3 dice. One was your focus dice, and so basically, if you rolled the same number on that as one of the other dice, then you could do extra things like add add an extra point of damage to a damage thing, or
Mm-hmm.
add an extra to hit. Like there was different things that you could do depending on what number you got. That it was a very interesting system that he designed,
Yeah, sounds like it.
but it never he never went forward with it, which was a shame because it was very funny because that was basically we were play testing the system. And I always thought it was really good, but yeah, it never came to anything, sadly.
Hopefully they'll pick it up again at some point and move it forward. Well, it's not going to rot or anything, so yeah.
Well, that's true.
But speaking of systems and games, I'd just like to take a second to shout out Crit, which will be happening on the 20th to the 28th of June. Registrations are open. And remember, this is a free online role-playing game convention. Jump in, get your seats, join games. We've got EZD6, we've got Index Card RPG, we've got Daggerheart, we've got... no, I don't think we have Dagger... Do we have Daggerheart? We definitely have Shadow Dark, but yeah. And among the DMs, we have Dungeon Matron, Soltanic, myself, Peter from Tales from Elsewhere, Chris, obviously, who does not seem to be here today, but yeah, definitely always fun to play with, and a whole lot of other people. So yeah, if you want to have 7 days of almost non-stop gaming, drop at Game at Crit and give it a go. I've did and read.
Sounds like fun.
I'm
Yeah,
professional.
sounds like fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been going to Crit for I think the last 4 years, and it's always massive fun.
Yeah, sounds good.
So let's see what else. Talk about ideas and things. Oh yeah, tell me about your gaming. Like, do you have a preferred GMing style, or do you have a GM tip that you really this is the best GMing tip ever, and everyone should know this?
So, see, obviously, all dungeon masters are different. I have always been the less prep kind of dungeon master in terms of I have ideas and I just let the players go with it. Because I always feel like the problem is if you over plan, you could over plan and then your players do something completely different. And you're like, oh no, crap. What do I do now? Kind of thing. Because like I haven't done the thing which I needed them to do to carry on the finish. So I've always been more of an improviser and less prep work. Have general concepts of things that I want, like in terms of what's going on in the background, what is like happening in the world, but what the players do. Obviously, you're always going to revolve around what they're doing, and you throw things in which you know that if because you work out people's play styles, and then you'd be like, okay, right, what can I throw in that I know they're going to find fun? And so that's always been like more the way that I do things in terms of I'm more loosey goosey is how I would say. And just less on the prep and more just focusing on the players and like work out how I can put their backstories in to what's going on and stuff like that.
That's
That's
always
always
super important. Yeah.
that's always more the way that I lean, because I do know there are people who prep and will prep to an unbelievable degree. Like they have like every piece of information in terms of like the town, every single NPC which is in that town, which are like what whoever the hell like the farmer had for breakfast. Like create like such detail. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna I'm just gonna improv and like improvise on the spot what needs like in terms of I know what the plans are, what's going on, and we'll work it out.
Oh yeah.
That's
The moment that
always
your
been my thing.
the moment that your session prep looks like an encyclopedia, you have problems.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Pretty much.
I do have a slightly different way of looking at it though, because I do have a general idea of what should happen, but I never make it contingent on the players. So basically, I have a plan, but that plan is what will happen if the players don't intervene.
Mm,
So
yeah.
literally, the player's job is to break that, so which makes everyone happy, basically.
Mm. Yeah, so it's things like this where basically like so one of the things which I had was players were sent to this place to basically investigate why no messages are coming in or
Hmm.
out of like the place. Like for some reason, like this whole town's gone dark. Nobody's heard anything from them. Team shit like that, and so. They went immediately to like the post office kind of situation there, which like in my thing, like the post office is kind of um, magical portals which go to different towns, and that's basically like if you have a letter, then you give it to them and they put it through this thing and it goes through magical portal, ends up in whatever other town which has got another one of these things, and then they sort it out to give to whoever they want to. And they were like, oh, like there's big problems. Our arcane crystal is on the fritz kind of thing. And the idea of it was that I wanted the players to investigate more what was going on at this and like to see like what's going on. Can we take a look at it or what like that? And basically like the idea was like a cultist town had taken over this a cultist group had taken over this town, and the entrance was going to be at the back of this like post office,
Okay.
for want of a better word, and they just decided not to go any further with that, and they spoke to the mayor, which there was like different things going on with that, and for some reason in their head they got it that they must be in the sewers, like that's the only thing, and so I ended up making their base in the sewers. Like I just went off of they went down there. There was just went around the corners and corridors, and there was like a metal door, and I was like, that wasn't where I planned this to happen. But if this is the way that they were to go with their investigations and to make them feel smart, like we're still ending up in the same place we would have done if we'd gone through the back of the thing, but we've gone about it a different way. And so we'll just work with what they go with and make them think that they're smart. We'll work with that.
Yeah, they just took the panoramic route.
Yeah. So different things like that. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter where the entrance was. It was more like a get in there kind of thing. But there is also that whole thing whereby like you don't want to, but it was more the players for some reason through their because I think it was that there was something else, another group who had their base in the sewers, kind of thing. So I just assumed it was going to be the same for this one. I was like, if this is the way they're going to go, sod it. Let's make it happen. And we'll somehow make a combination between what's going on in there, what's going on there. There wasn't going to be, but we're going to make it happen now because that's what the players have decided. But yeah, which bit? I completely forgot what train of thought I was I was going on there, but yeah, I will always tweak things if it needs to, especially if it makes the players feel like they have discovered something themselves. That you've always got to put something in there that's like if this is the way that they feel like they've accomplished something. As long as it doesn't change the story in any way, I'm fine with tweaking and changing things around like that. It's when it gets into the railroadiness of I said, there's you're climbing the mountain. There are these two dark towers in the background. Oh, we go away from there. We walk through the forest. Oh, you're in the forest. The two dark towers on which they've come it's like we leave. We go to the town. In the town there are the two dark towers. We leave. We go to the ocean. We're gonna go on a boat and in the middle of the ocean, the two dark towers, which are that kind of railroading. No matter what you do, you always end up going to the dark towers. I don't believe in that, but in terms of moving things in a way that can support the story that's happening in the town, in the set, that doesn't really matter detail wise. I can work that out.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, you're taking them where they wanted to go anyway. It's like you're not forcing them to go somewhere that they were not planning to go to. And B, I think that's still a really important skill to master because you can say, okay, no, the cultist base is in a different place. It's not supposed to be there. But if they're going there and you need to slip that in place, you want to do that without them noticing that, hey, we're in a sewers and you're talking about large windows with the trees outside. It's like,
I do apologize to Carl, but I'm going to have to cut this short here because my wife says that she needs help with my child. So I
no,
do
absolutely.
apologize.
No problem at all. But it has been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Thank you for everyone who has watched this, and thank you for everyone who's commented and such like that. It's been lovely talking to you all. As I said, hopefully at some point maybe we can discuss things again and whatnot, because it's been very
I would
nice
love
being
that.
on here. Yeah, thank you very much. I do apologize. This
No apologies
my
necessary.
child beckons. So that's what it's been a lot of fun being.
You take care, and you and your family have a lovely evening. And thank you so much for being here. But don't let us keep you. And
Thank you
hopefully
very
we can
much.
talk again. Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay. What a nice guy. Okay, so I guess this team won't be running much longer, but we still have time to look at the community showcase. So let's bring that on. As soon as I remember where I put it. Here we go. Okay, we've got one entry by Cross, who has been an absolute overachiever as usual. And yeah, I think this is literally a shipload of scattered terrain, basically. We've got crates, three kinds of crates, obviously, because one kind was not enough. Let's see what else. Pillows and mattresses, okay. Bunks, tarps and beddings, footlockers, and barrels and kegs. I mean, Cross, this is going to look amazing when it's all loaded in place. I mean, these stacks already look really good. So yeah, in case anyone is not following Cross yet, his channel is Campaign Terrain, and he streams Sundays, usually a couple of hours after this stream, so you go and check it out. As you can see here, there's a lot of good stuff going on. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thank you all for joining us. I'll be back next week probably with a solo stream. Might be doing some painting or crafting, and then the week after that we've got 3 guests on, and we're going to talk about sword fighting, which is a subject very close to my heart. Not too close, otherwise that would probably cause catastrophic bleeding. But yeah, I do love sword fighting. Anyway, thank you again for being here, and you have a lovely week. Bye!